Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hello, my friends. Good evening, and let me see if I can refresh this. Yeah, we're on the 7th of September. Not the 9th. I don't know, I guess I looked at the 9th and went, that's the 9th day of the month. No, it's the 7th day of the month. I don't know. Good evening. It's a Sunday. Sundays are days of rest. Hope you guys have all been resting. There we go. 7th of December. December? Jump 3 months. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. What a way to start the show. What a mess. We're the 9th Legion. Yeah, maybe it was that. Ian, hello. Quay, hello. Benny, hello. Drangus, VT, nice to see you guys as always. If you do get some value out of tonight's show, please do click the like button at some point. It does really, really help me out. I do appreciate it. Okay. We've got like 6 lists to look at. That's normally what we do on a Sunday night. They're submitted by the community. You do that by at the end of the stream. You submit your list as a comment. It's pretty simple. You just export your list from like Battlescribe or the Warhammer app or whatever way you get your list, and then you just you just paste it in, and then you get included in a future episode of the show. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so excuse me. It just crept up on me as I started the stream. There's going to be a giant sneeze in a minute, I swear to you. Anyway, alright, we'll get right into it this Sunday night. JLR 91 is the first list for tonight. Following your change in strategy, I'm planning to switch up with Angelic Inheritors list as well. Terminators are in the Repulsor, along with the Tech Marine, Chaplain, and Blade Guard in the Impulsor. I'm not buying Vindicators before I know if they're going to Legends, so I went a slightly different route. Let me know if it's completely off before I buy the Repulsor, please. Okay, so Terminators inside the Repulsor, that is something we never see. Yeah, I've got the chat on screen. Cool. You guys hear me, right? Before I get fired into it. I need sleep. No, I've just had a bit of a headache today for some reason. I've been probably working too hard or something. I have gone to the gym 5 days in a row. I felt exhausted after the gym this morning, so it could be that as well. But yeah, you guys hear me fine, right? Alright, Jump Captain, Chaplain, Librarian and Terminator Armor, Lieutenant with the Combi Weapon and the Tech Marine. So we've probably got a Librarian leading Terminators. I think my personal opinion is the Chaplain is a better pick, because I believe the Chaplain and Terminator Armor is the same number of points. I will check. Chaplain and Terminator Armor. I'm pretty sure he's the same number of points, in that he's 75 points, yeah, and his abilities are +1 to wound. And I think that's just better, because +1 to wound on Terminators is really strong. It also gives the 4-up pain against mortals, which is not too bad, but I think the +1 to wound is really where it's at. What's the queue time for a list review? If you're a member, you get basically on the following week. If you're a non-member, it's long. It's long. The queue used to be long when the channel was like 5,000 subscribers. At 21,000 subscribers, the queue time for non-members is very long. It's so long I don't even count it anymore. That's how long it is. But yeah, if you're a member, you get next week, you know? We've got Intercessors. We've got Impulsor. Assault Intercessor with jump packs. Blade Guard Squad. Lancer ×2. We've seen this a few times, right? Lancer ×2 is interesting. I guess if you're not going to buy Vindicator tanks, that's kind of your option. It gives you some strong anti-tank. It's not very good against elite infantry, but maybe you're okay with that. It's also, I also feel like Lancers aren't very good against enemies with invuln saves, because it's only 2 shots. And if I had a 4-up invuln on like my tank, if I fail one of them against a Lancer, I'm gonna pay CP to re-roll it, right? Because you know that like up to 9 damage is coming in. That's definitely worth a CP re-roll and a 50-50. So I think Lancers are actually kind of hard to get. When I play them, I either see them do 2 things. 1, they do no damage whatsoever. 2, they just delete things in 1 shot. It feels like there's no in-between with Lancers. You've got the 6 Inceptors with plasmas. You've got the Repulsor, which is leading, which is running like 5 Terminators with Power Fists and Bolters. I guess a Cyclone Missile Launcher. Probably attach the Chaplain to those Terminators, honestly. I think that's better than the Librarian. I've used the Librarian before. I know that he gives sustained hits on the Terminators, but sometimes, let's say you're facing Death Guard and everything, like, for the most part, Death Guard's entire army is toughness 9 or more. So your Terminator's just always wounding on 5s is just going to be really bad. You got 1 small squad of Sanguinary Guard, you've got some Scouts, you've got a Thunder Strike to give +1 to wound. I don't know if I feel like... I mean, I guess the Thunder Strike's giving the... potentially buffs the Inceptors. Potentially buffs the Lancers. Do Lancers need to wound on 2s? I mean, I guess it'll help. You've got Inquisitor Courtiers to try and get some command points. I assume he's with the regular Intercessor squad. So, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't like Blade Guard in this detachment whatsoever, because Strength 5 I feel like is really underwhelming in this detachment. I mean, I don't really like Jump Assault Intercessors either in this detachment, but you can take them as a scoring unit. Hey Phil, sorry about your loss, and I think you did pretty well at that tournament. You've got Tech Marine. I guess he can do lone operative things. You got the Librarian with combi weapon. I feel like attaching a Chaplain to 3 Blade Guard isn't meaningful. Like, if you're gonna do Blade Guard, I feel like... Yeah, I just don't know if I feel like attaching a Chaplain is not meaningful when it's only 3 Blade Guard. The +1 to wound is nice, but in Angelic Inheritors, it's Blade Guard on Strength 5 are very average. I feel like Blade Guard are a weird unit, and they're very good in Liberator Assault Group. They're very average. Yeah, I think both these units are very average in Angelic Inheritors. The little squad of Sanguinary Guard is nice. The Thunder Strike, I guess, is fine. The Terminators is fine. It's an interesting one, right? Because it's like... It's a T-ring to a few of the things you want to do with Angelic Inheritors, right? Like, you want to have a lot of shooting in Angelic Inheritors. Well, it's got 2 Lancers, it's got a Repulsor, it's got a Storm Speeder, and it's got the Inceptors, right? So it does have a lot of shooting. It also has a couple of punchy units in, like, the Terminators and the Sandguard, maybe. I think if this was me, probably, I'd be looking at, like... I don't necessarily dislike the Impulsor, but I think the 140 points we spend on 3 Blade Guard and the Chaplain feels like it's not going to get enough value. It's 140 points for strength 5 with +1 to wound. It's alright. I mean, I guess it's better against knights than when I played it. I guess it wounds knights. I guess it wounds armigers on 4s. When I played it against knights, it was wounding armigers on 5s. It felt really terrible. No. Yeah, it wounded armigers on 6. It felt really... Bladeguard felt really terrible when you wound armigers on 6. I guess they wound on 4s. Alright, it's not horrible. But Bladeguard are definitely not my favourite unit in Angelic Inheritors. I think you want the +1 to wound really badly on those Terminators. You've got a captain to lead the Sangre Guard. I really feel like it would be better if the Sangre Guard was a 6 as well, because it doesn't feel like you have... Like, you have a bit of shooting, but it doesn't feel like you have any strong melee unit that can jump in afterwards and finish stuff off, because the Terminators aren't fast. Right, the opponent can predict where they're going to be. They're going to be 6 inches, 8 inches away from the repulsor. But the fast-moving Sangre Guard, like this list, I think would benefit a lot if you had 6 Sangre Guard. Joe, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do appreciate that. It's always nice to see some new members. The Tech Marine as well feels like a weird pick. Like, I think if you want to get to the 6 Sangre Guard, you could probably... You probably have to lose the Tech Marine and the Chaplain, right? Or you probably have to lose the 3 Blade Guard and the Chaplain that's 140 points. Maybe you lose the Tech Marine, it's 195 points. You beef up that Sangre Guard, which costs you, I think, 120. So you would have 75 points left. What could you do with 75 points? I mean... Yeah, that's a tough one. I just feel like I wouldn't run Bladeguard again in Angelic Inheritors. If you get value out of them, great. For me, I feel like I'm done with trying to make that work, because there's just too many armies you're going to run into where the Bladeguard are just not meaningful enough, I feel like. And I think it all comes down to the strength 5. Okay, good afternoon, William. How you doing? Alright, Hangman SDYX is our next list for tonight. He is running Liberator Assault Group. He had trouble finishing this list and deciding whether to add a Jump Chaplain to Jump Intercessors or remove it for a Tech Marine to run with the Ball Predator. And use the leftover 20 points for enhancement or upgrading Intercessors to Infiltrators. Open to criticism. Thanks in advance. Okay, so a Jump Captain, a Chaplain with 5 first, a Chaplain with a Jump Back, a Death Company Captain with a Jump Back, and the Combi Weapon Lieutenant. We've got a unit of Intercessors with Sticky. We've got Impulsor. We've got 10 Jump Intercessors. I actually like 10 Jump Intercessors attached to a Chaplain, because if you work that out, it gives you like 45 chainsword attacks, right? It's strength 6 with +1 to wound. So basically up to toughness 11 you will wound on 4s, right? And the fact that those guys do up to 10 mortal wounds when they charge, statistically they should do like 4 or 5, I guess. The Chaplain potentially does another one. So you get 5 mortal wounds, and then you have 45 chainswords, wounding up to toughness 11 on 4s. I think it's a great unit for whatever it costs, 235 points. We don't see it all that often. Statistically, it should kill a Bloodthirster of Khorne in 1 turn, I believe. So Chaplain with 10 Jump Intercessors is a good pick. We just don't see it all that much. We have 5 more Jump Intercessors. We have a Ball Predator. We got 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. We have 6 Blade Guard. We have 5 Death Company with Jump Backs. We have a unit of Outriders. We have an Annihilator. Okay, so the Annihilator gives you just lots of las cannons. So that's your anti-armor. The Annihilator and the 2 Ballistuses. The 6 Sangre Guard and the Scouts. How do I join the Discord? ! Discord. There should be the bot should put a link into it. If it doesn't, I can get you a custom link. Onindana, evening, just popped into like the stream. I've been playing Dark Angels lately. Ooh, I'm playing Dark Angels on Wednesday night this week, man, and I am not confident because yeah, probably just not confident. -1 damage, the lion, all that good stuff. So you've got the jump intercessors with 10 with the chaplain. You've got the captain with the Sangre Guard. You've got the chaplain on foot, likely with the blade guard inside the impulsor. You got the Death Company captain with his 5, and then you got the combi with Lieutenant. How do I beat Thousand Suns? Don't get flamed by the Rubric Marines is the name of the game, Jonathan, because the Rubric Marines is bonkers good. You've got to remember as well, like Blood Angels Codex came out 14 months ago, Thousand Suns Codex came out 3 months ago. The newer codexes in every edition are always stronger than the old codexes. They have codex creep that just creeps forward all the time. But yeah, I played Thousand Suns on the channel a couple of weeks ago, and it's very, very difficult. So we've got some sticky objectives from the intercessors. We've got Blade Guard that can move forward. We've got the 15 jump intercessors. I'd probably definitely start the 10 and the chaplain in reserve. I'd probably start the captain and the 6 Sangre Guard in reserve. You've got Outriders for early pressure. You could have the Death Company on the board. You could have the Scouts infiltrating. You've got 3 Las Cannon type tanks, and you've got a Ball Predator. This list seems totally fine. I don't know if it's the most competitive list that I've ever seen. But it's got a good, like, to make a good Liberator Assault Group list, you need like 4 melee threats. Well, the Sangre Guard plus a captain, the Death Company plus a captain, the Blade Guard plus a chaplain, the 10 jump intercessors plus a chaplain. That is 4 good melee threats. You got a couple of other units that are cheap, like the Scouts and the 1 unit of jump intercessors. You've got a few things you can stick on objectives early game and hold them, like Outriders, Ball Predators, and Impulsors. You got some action lone operatives. You got some sticky objectives. There's not a whole lot to complain about in this list. It's maybe not the most optimal, right? You could have, you could argue Vindicator tanks are more optimal than Ballistus Dreadnoughts. You could argue that, like, I think Predator Destructors, for me, are possibly more exciting than Predator Annihilators, but, like, there isn't a whole lot to complain about, right? Like, it's got a bit of everything. It's got some fast-moving stuff. It's got multiple jump units. I think this is a good Liberator Assault Group list. I mean, it's. I would play a list like this because I prefer taking double Ballistus and a Predator over Gladiator Lancers personally, but maybe that's just the sort of play I am, or maybe it's just I find Lancers so swingy. I talked about that already a little bit in the stream. And then you've got the combi combat knives and a heavy bolter and the Scouts. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. I take the missile launcher, but 6.5 a dozen, really, isn't it? Yeah, I don't have any complaints with this list. What did you say? He was having trouble finishing it. He could remove jump intercessors for a tech marine to run with the Val Predator. I don't think you need another lone operative. I would rather have the 10. I'd rather have the 10 jump intercessors than the chaplain. I think that's good. You know, we're talking about Dark Angels. That's a good combo to have against Dark Angels as well, just because they can't really, they're -1 damage. If all your guys just do 1 damage, it's not such a good buff for them, is it? Blood Angels feel like normal Space Marines. I just want more Codex-specific units like Black Templars. Yeah, I think Blood Angels will get more Codex-specific units. Like, if you actually look at our Codex, it was pretty poor, right? If you exclude the characters, we've only got like 4 or 5 units now. Ball Predator, Sangre Guard, Death Company. I actually can't think of any others. Ball Predator. Oh, the Death Company Dreadnought. And then the two other units, the Sangre Guard, the Death Company. There's nothing else. I don't think there's anything else. I don't even take my Codex with me when I go play games these days. I'm not joking you, my Codex is right here. It's like not in my box because I don't take it with me. I take the Space Marine Codex with me. Yeah, I mean, if you exclude characters, we got Death Company, Sangre Guard, Ball Predator, and the Death Company Dreadnought. Yeah, it's 4. It's. I don't know if it's even really worth a whole codex for 4 units, is it? I mean, It's a bit of a weird addition for Blood Angels. Alright, Hugo is the next list. He's also starting to train for 2,000 points of Liberator Assault Group. I'm trying to figure out the Fight First Death Company I talked about with you earlier. I have no memory of this conversation, Hugo, but let's have a look. We've got Dante as the Warlord. We've got the Rage Fuel Captain. We have a Captain with a Jump Pack. We have a Fight First Death Company Captain, so I guess he'll be with the 10 Death Company Marines with Jump Packs. We got the Judisaur with the Gift of Foresight to give him some devastating wounds, and we've got the Lieutenant. We've got Intercessors for sticky objectives. 2 units of 5 Jump Marines, 6 Blade Guard, a squad of Infiltrators, 9 Sanguinary Guard, so I think 6 will probably be with Dante and 3 with the Captain, or vice versa. A squad of Scouts, a squad of Stern Guard, they'll be with the Rage Captain, a squad of Outriders, and then an Impulsor. So, yeah, either the Blade Guard and the Judisaur, but I think more likely the Rage Captain and the Stern Guard will be in the Impulsor. Hey, there are 3 kinds of Death Company. No, there's not. There's Death Company with Jump Packs, and then that's it. I think your codex must have a misprint if you think there's 3 types of Death Company. There is literally Death Company with Jump Packs. I mean, for many years, that's been the Death Company option, right? When you get onto Discord, make sure you link up your YouTube account to get over into the members only room. Like, you definitely have to do that. Are Infiltrators not mandatory anymore? I mean, they've never been mandatory. They make your backfield somewhat more safe, right? Of course they do. You know, but like, it really depends on your meta, right? If people aren't deep striking, then Infiltrators are not needed whatsoever, right? They're needed against armies that are going to deep strike, and they're needed against armies that are going to deep strike in your backfield. And I feel like that whole meta has shifted, right? Like, if I go back to like 9th edition, very often you would just find your like World Eaters. They would just have 5 Terminators. They would just be planning to drop them in your backfield and go after your home objective. Like, that was a common thing. I don't know if you remember how bad those World Eater Terminators were in 9th edition, but they were bonkers good in melee. Thousand Suns, they could do the same. Any Space Marine army, 5 Terminators could be in reserve, go into your backfield. But people just don't... I feel like it just doesn't happen nearly as much as it used to happen. Would that be fair to say? So I'm not 100% sure that you still need Infiltrators. You can sticky, especially if you're Blood Angels. You're pushing forward anyway. You could argue that you're going to claim all the objectives in No Man's Land because you're pushing forward. I think Infiltrators are good. Like, they're a good unit. They reduce cognitive load, and that, like, you put them in your backfield and there's just no cognitive load about that. Like, you just don't have to worry about your backfield for like most of the game. And if you spread them out and put them in a good position, you know that no one's deep striking in your backfield. You never have to worry about it. You can focus all your energy elsewhere on the board. Like, that is a thing. But I wouldn't say that you absolutely have to have them, right? So this list has no shooting whatsoever, right? Like, I mean, apart from some Infernal Pistols on the various Sanguinary Guard units or the Death Company, it's a very melee-based Blood Angels list with just the Impulsor. We actually saw one of these go 6-0 at a tournament. Like, when was this? Like, a couple of weeks ago? There was a 6-0 Blood Angels Liberator Assault Group list that looked... I'm trying to remember that, because I made that video. What was it? So it had... the Rage Captain, just the same. I had Dante, just the same. I had a Death Company Captain, just the same with Speed of the Primarch. He also had Lamartes. He also had the Lieutenant with the Combi Weapon. He also had the Intercessors. He also had the Impulsor. He also had 2 5-man units of Jump Intercessors. He also had Blade Guard, but this time was 6. His Death Company were 20, whereas this list just says 10. His Sanguinary Guard were 6. This list is 9. It's the Stern Guard. It's the Scouts. So if this list here on the right can go 6-0 a tournament, then this list on the left, by all argument's sake, could do very similar, because they are basically the same list. Like, list on the left has 10 more Death Company. Sorry, list on the right has 10 more Death Company, 3 less Blade Guard, 3 less Sanguinary Guard. List on the left has 3 more Sanguinary Guard, 6 more Blade Guard, 10 Death Companies. You basically dropped 10 Death Company. You've added 3 Sangard, 3 Blade Guard. And rather than Mephiston, you've got a Judisaur. And maybe Maybe there's one other change. Outriders, maybe you've got Outriders as well. But yeah, I mean, you can see that if you don't want to run any vehicles as Liberator Assault Group, you just want to take a bunch of melee units, then this is definitely on the right track. If you didn't watch the video I made a few weeks ago about the 6-0 Liberator Assault Group list, that just, I think it's the biggest it's the biggest tournament that's been won by Liberator Assault Group for a while. It's, if you go into my channel, right, which is this, like YouTube/@BA Commander, BA_Commander, right? And then you click videos, and you click, yeah, when you go into videos, you see the recent videos on the channel, right? And one of the recent videos is this 6-0 lag one. So if you haven't watched this and you're playing Liberator Assault Group and you're playing an all-melee Liberator Assault Group list, you probably should watch it, because I think it's the biggest Liberator Assault Group tournament that's been won in a while. I actually called the video Lag Returns, and some guy was like, this is a clickbait video. I was like, I honestly can't remember before that the last time Liberator Assault Group won a big super major. Because I would have covered it, right? Because I cover, like, if there's a video that if Liberator Assault Group wins something amazing, I will cover it, right? Like, that's genuinely, like, that's generally what I cover on the channel. And someone was like, that video is clickbait. I'm like, is it? Because it's been months. I don't think it's been this year, right? There hasn't been, like, another massive tournament won by Blood Angels. So, for like 9 months or something. So, watch that video. This is a good list as well. The only advice I would give with this list is, like, if you find yourself not winning, it's like very small changes to get similar to that 6-0 list, right? Eric says, in my last game I pushed infiltrators forward instead of on home. It worked wonders against SA Nids and VV Death Guard with their 6-inch deep strike. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing against Death Guard, their 6-inch deep strike, Virgilance Victorium or whatever it's called. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely advantages to having infiltrators on the field, right? So we're gonna have to pull an extra list from the pile, because I want to cover someone else, one of the channel members actually won a tournament this week as well. So I'm wanting to cover that. I'm going to cover that for this Friday's video, probably. Speargrass, hello. The captain with Ragefield Warrior with Stern Guard destroys anything literally. I dropped the extra Sangry Guard, as you need to keep Oath of Moment for the Stern Guard, and the Death Company have it natively. Yeah, so that's probably why that list did so well in the tournament, is because, like you said, the Death Guard, they just have natively the ability to reroll hits, right? Phil says, I want an all tank list. I thought you were running all tanks like yesterday, Phil. How did it end up going? You didn't quite get there in the end. All right, Walters. Ewan Walters, I think, is also running Liberator Assault Group. His list's at 1950 points. That's a bit weird. So you've got 50 points left over. So need to look at that, right? So Ragefield Warrior, a Chaplain, Dante, and Lamartes. Assault Intercessors on foot with the Impulsor. I guess they're probably going to go with the Ragefield Warrior captain. 2 units of Jump Intercessors. A Ballistus, 6 Blade Guard, 10 Jump Death Company, the Infiltrators, the Sangry Guard, and a 6, 2 units of Scouts, and then a Vindicator tank. So the shooting is a Vindicator tank and a Ballistus Dreadnought. You've got the Impulsor with the Assault Intercessors and the Chaplain. Like, you could maybe swap those from the Stern Guard based on what we were just talking about. Evening Red Covenant. We've got the Speed of the Primarch with the Blade Guard. We've got Lamartes with a 10. We've got Dante with a 6. I feel like this list is missing something. This is 2,000 points. Maybe it's just missing something because he's not spent all his points. I mean, if you've not spent all your points, the one thing that fits into 50 points is a Blade Guard Ancient. I don't think he could attach to the Blade Guard, but he could be used as an action monkey. He could be put in reserve, and he could come in and he could do actions. The cool thing about the Blade Guard Ancient as well for 45 points is he does have a 4-up invuln. So if you bring him into the corner of the board, he's just going to stand in the corner of the board and do stuff like behind enemy lines or what other not deploy teleport homers, it's not called establish locust or anything like that. He can potentially survive now because he's got that 4-up invuln. So Blade Guard Ancient, you could just add him for free because you've got the 45 points. There could be an argument to upgrade those Assault Intercessor to Stern Guard. I think that would be a good choice as well. 2 units of Jump Intercessors is fine. The Stangry Guard of the Death Company is fine. 2 units of Scouts might be overkill here. Like, you might be better... Yeah, it might be better just dropping a unit of Scouts and making it a 3rd unit of Jump Assault Intercessors. Or drop the second... Yeah, if you've got 2 Vindicator tanks, that's probably better. But yeah, you have enough points here to swap the Assault Intercessors into Stern Guard and swap 1 unit of Scouts into Assault Intercessor of the jump packs. That's probably the changes I would make. The rest of the list seems pretty solid. It seems kind of standard. You're maybe a tiny little bit light on shooting, but other people have proved now Liberator Assault Group doesn't actually need to shoot people if it's used right and it's got lots of charges. It's got like enough rerolls and stuff from the Death Company, which you do have some of. As someone who primarily plays narrative games and campaigns, which detachment is most authentic to Blood Angels? I'll be running them in my next Crusade campaign. That's a very good question, Lord Commander Joe. Maybe, I was going to say, maybe more people in chat play narrative campaigns than I do. The only narrative campaigns I've played in 10th edition have been boarding actions, which I actually really did like, but I think most people, unfortunately, probably watch me for competitive content, so I really did enjoy playing boarding actions, but I feel like people didn't watch. Maybe it's just because it was new, I need to try it again, and I think maybe when I played it, it was difficult to get the rules, because there was a little period of time there where it was really difficult to actually get the boarding action rules right. Like they just didn't exist, or they just weren't easy to get hold of, and they're all in their own book now. So yeah, I think this list could be easily fixed. I actually don't think it's broken, but you've got 3 choices there. Add someone who's 45 points. I think your only choice is the Blade Guard Ancient as someone who will do actions. But I think the better choice would be to change 1 unit of Scouts into another unit of Jump Intercessors and change the unit of Assault Intercessors into Stern Guard. And the great thing with Stern Guard is, like, Stern Guard are essentially intercessors, regular intercessors with bolt guns. So you only need like 1 guy with a heavy bolter and you have a unit of Stern Guard. You don't need to buy... Like, I ran Stern Guard at the recent tournament, and I converted like 2 heavy bolter guys, and the other 8 guys in the squad were just intercessors with bolt guns, because that's all they are. They're just special issue bolt guns. No one's going to say anything. They're on the same size base. If you've got intercessors, you can pretty much already run Stern Guard. Okay, let's have a look at... Do you know what? Next edition, I need to do a video early in the edition about which narrative campaign to do. Remind me, if you're still watching me then, Joe, to make that video, because it would probably be a good idea to make that video. Alright, Mac 1187. I'm going to read the list first, and I'm going to come back and read what he talks about, because it gives me a bit more context of what the list is. So 2 captains with jump packs in Dante. I assume that means we're going to have 3 squads of 3 Sangry Guard in this list. The Combi Weapon Lieutenant who comes back to life, a Tech Marine, and the Sanguinar. Okay, so we know what the Tech Marine's going to do. We know what the Sanguinar is going to do. We've got Intercessors for Sticky Objective. We have 2 Lancers. We have the Inceptors, we have Infiltrators, we have the 3 units of Sangre Guard, we've got the 2 Vindicator tanks. Okay, this is an interesting Angelic Inheritors list. Very interesting. Oh, Ewan's in the chat. I may be a bit late, but I swapped the Rage Fueled Captain and 5 Assault Intercessors for a Bike Chaplain and 6 Outriders. I think you were better off the other way around, man. The problem with Outriders, I think, is they're hard to maneuver around units. They are only ever EP1. I mean, I guess they're Strength 7, +1 to wound. It's just the low AP that worries me with Outriders. I tried them one time with... I tried them one time adding the Chaplain, so I got like the 3 damage on the Chaplain, right? Because the Chaplain's Crozius is 2. He gets an extra pip of damage because the Outriders get it when they charge. He gets an extra pip of strength. So I think his Crozius and Liberator Assault group's like 9. Strength 9. 3 damage. But I just felt like the 1 AP was the real problem. Like, I just felt like 1 AP just didn't feel meaningful enough in any way, shape, or form. So, this is an interesting Angelic Inheritors list. So we've got 1 sticky objective. We've got 4 tanks. We've got Infiltrators as well. We've got a bunch of characters. And then the 3 units of 3 Sangre Guard. Okay. Alright, so... Oh, this is his answer to the Knight meta. Well, I guess having a bunch of Lancers helps. A bunch of Strength 14 firepower helps against Knights. You could even argue that you could have taken a Thunderstrike over one of these Lancers just to give your Inceptors potentially +1 to wound as well. Could have been good here. Alright, I find most of my success playing the Inceptors around uppy downy stratagem. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things you can do in Angelic Inheritors, and you should try and play around that if it's possible. Generally, trying to make their first engagement from a safe location so they can get at least 2 activations before my opponent can interact with them. I mean, that's 100% right. You should be doing that. The Combat Lieutenant in almost all situations will aggressively go for the middle and force the opponent into firing range. I like the Lieutenant more than Mephiston because opponents can just kill Mephiston. The 2+ come back on the end of the phase with the reactive move makes the Lieutenant more durable and versatile for 25 points less. Yeah, I mean, he does... But I'm off this character because I think the problem with him is like the opponent just needs to tow a single model onto the middle objective. Any savvy opponent should have a cheap unit that they can tow onto the middle objective. So if they've got a cheap unit that they can tow one into the middle, it's OC1, then all of a sudden this guy isn't as worth as many point. Like, I get why he's good. I'm just not playing him anymore. Too many times in games for me, he's let me down. I also simply do not value Mephiston's fight first damage output. Yeah, I mean, Mephiston's rarely there for his damage output, right? Tech Marine was added due to having 55 points remaining. I've liked him quite a bit. Making Vindicator attacks hit on 2s with sustain means I get to fish for 6s with minimal risk. He also gets to be the Warlord, so I have something cheap and easy to hide from Imperial Knights. In any matchup with reserves, I'll generally deploy my Infiltrators close to my natural expansion and Intercessors in my home. Having the 12-inch bubble near my staging mid board has been beneficial. Option to start the Sanguiner on the board or reserve and leave him alive in Deep Strike past turn 3 if need to be. Generally only do this in KG matchups. Sangre Guard are pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I'm actually off Sangre Guard in units of 3 in this detachment, though. I just don't know if I feel like they do enough damage. Evening Pound, it has been a while. Generally try to stage them and threaten no man's land. Sending all 3 at once on go turn is strong, specifically if the Sanguiners support your opponent's turn afterwards. You know, like, I think that the Sangre Guard without their strength bonus usually means that into tough enemies they will wound on 5s. Yes, they have reroll 1s in this detachment, but you have to be very savvy on it because quite often they can underperform. If they don't clean up, you fall entirely back on your shooting. My meta is very Knight heavy. This is why I run double Vindicator, double Lancer. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play against lots of Knights, I feel like double Vindicator, double Lancer is probably a good overall first pick for your list. I actually have double Vindicator, double Lancer. I've never run it. I don't think it's very versatile all round, right? Like, I mean, it's maybe not too bad, but it's a weird one. My opinion of Sangre Guard in Angelic Inheritors is they usually jump in and then just die. They don't have staying power. And I'm kind of not a huge fan of them in threes in Inheritors. So, yeah, it's a tough one. I'm playing Inheritors myself at the moment. I'm playing double Vindicator. I'm playing Plasma Inceptors. I am playing 9 Sangre Guard, but a 6 and a 3. But over the Lancers, I'm taking like a couple of Impulsors, Hellblasters. I'm not putting quite as many points into characters as well, so that gives me some more room in there for like an Impulsor. The map that I played this week, Hammer and Anvil, right? Like if you're not familiar with Hammer and Anvil, it's like there's only one. You don't really have a natural expansion in Hammer and Anvil, right? I would say it's. Would that be fair to say, right? Like Hammer and Anvil. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, like this map.
Here, yeah.
Like on this map, I guess you could argue this is your natural expansion because there's a bit of terrain you could hide behind here. But then knights just walk straight through terrain, right? That's the tricky thing. So like in a map like this is your deployment lines here and here. So in a map like this where your deployment zone is quite far away from all the middle objectives, what do you have in this list that you can go and stick on those objectives? You don't have scouts. Yeah, I suppose you could stick your infiltrators on one. But yeah, it's durability I think is important in Angelic Inheritors. And I'm not like it's a weird one. It's like are you gonna roll a Gladiator Lancer into no man's land, hold an objective? I mean, you could. I actually hate 3-man. I actually hate the 3-man with Dante and Angelic Inheritors, Mike, because they're only strength 6, and I think that means that if you fight certain armies that have toughness 12 stuff, you only wound on 6s, and holy shit, that's bad, right? So yeah, I mean, I guess if you're playing knights, being able to shoot out a crap load of strength 14 firepower. I mean, you can't really get more. No one's going to run 3 Vindicator tanks and 3 Lancers and Blood Angels, right? So you can't really get any more strength 14 firepower than what we see in this list. And then you back it up with 3 units of Sangre Guard. But, I tried that 3 units of Sangre Guard with like 2 captains and Dante for like 3 or 4 months. And I feel like I was quite far away from ever getting that to work at a high level. So I just put it to the side and I'm not playing it anymore. But then I'm not, it's not like I'm the best Blood Angels player ever. If it doesn't work, just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it doesn't work for someone else, right? Okay, Dante 777. This is our last list for tonight. He's also running Angelic Inheritors at 2,000 points. He has played apparently 10 games and he has a 100% win rate. I played 5 games before my tournament that I went to with Stormlance and a 100% win rate, and then it all went to shit. I barely won a game at the tournament, so friendly games can sometimes skew your perception. But here we go, 10 games. We've got the Sanguinar. We've got Jump Pack Captain with the no Overwatch strat. We've got another Jump Pack Captain with a Power Fist Plasma Pistol. We've got our Come Back to Life Combi Weapon. We've got a Librarian with the Scout move. And we've got Tech Marine. We've got some Assault Intercessors as well. Some regular Intercessors. Some Assault Intercessors with Jump Packs, 10 man. I guess you're taking the 10 man here to get mortal wounds, because I don't think Assault Intercessors are very good in this detachment. You've got the Ballistus Dreadnought, you've got a Devastator Squad, they'll be with Librarian no doubt, getting that Scout move. You've got a Lancer, you've got Incursors to give +1 to hit. You've got 6 Sangry Guard, you've got Scouts, you've got the Hammer Strike to remove cover. Is the cover that Hammer Strike does, isn't it? Hammer Strike, yeah, removes the benefit of cover. You got a Vanguard Veteran Squad, 5, and then you've got a Vindicator tank. So a Ballistas, a Devastator Squad, and a Vindicator tank is the shooting from this list. Is that correct? No Plasma Inceptors. Oh, you've got a Lancer as well. Okay, so a Lancer, a Ballistas, a Vindicator, and a Devastator Squad. And a Hammer Strike. I mean, okay, it's a bit of almost feels like a bit of like just take what you just take what you have, right? Hello, Boris. But yeah, I mean, you need a lot of shooting in this detachment, and I guess that gives us 310 plus 280 plus 420. Yeah, so you're on like 700 and some points, and then you take the Incursors to give it all +1 to hit. I'd rather not take the Hammer Strike without the +1 to wound. Yeah, I mean, removing cover is good. It definitely is good. So yeah, that's an interesting list. 100% win rate. They've got so one unit of Sangard as a 6, probably with the captain that can't be overwatched, and then one unit of 10 Assault Intercessors with the other captain to give you Strength 5 Assault Intercessors. Librarian with the Devastators, the Tech Marine just repairing all the vehicles, the Intercessors for sticky objectives. Yeah, do you know, it's a bit of a weird list, I feel like, in that it doesn't feel like he's got tons of units. It doesn't feel like he's got a lot of melee prowess either. Like Jump Intercessors, Strength 4, maybe Strength 5 in the charge. Meh. The one squad of Sangry Guard, 5 Vanguard Veterans, again, low AP. Jump Intercessors, low AP. I guess the shooting does a lot because you're removing cover, you're giving it +1 to hit. And then you finish them off with the weaker jump stuff, right? Good evening, Highland Phoenix. Yeah, I feel like it's not what we often see in Angelic Inheritors, but I suppose the cool thing about it is it just proves that there's within every detachment there is lots that you can do, right? Not many people would have put these 3 units together. Obviously, the Devastator Squad is led by the Librarian, so they can get the Lone Operative ability as well. What? They didn't loot. Yeah, so it's 4 las cannons. Okay, so it'd be hard for the opponent to shoot back at the Devastator Squad, potentially. They could be screened by the Incursors. They can get +1 to hit. You can give the Vindicator tank sustained, you can hit on 2s, you can reroll and fish for 6s. Yeah, it's an interesting list. Probably I would say this one would need practice, because it feels very different to what we normally see, which is like double Vindicator Plasma Inceptors. And I do feel a little bit sad about not having Plasma Inceptors. I do think they are very important for making your Angelic Inheritors list strong. Like, I really do like the Plasma Inceptors. So, based on that, it's probably not my favorite, but I think it's decent nonetheless. It would be a big shift to get Plasma Inceptors in here. You'd have to like lose the Tech Marine, lose Librarian, and the Devastator squad. I'm trying to think, like, personally, would I rather have 6 guys with Plasma Inceptors, or would I have a Devastator squad with 4 Las Cannons, Librarian, and the Tech Marine? I think personally that's the same cost, right? Or very similar. I feel like I'm on the Plasma Inceptor train. 85 actually. Yeah, the Plasma Inceptors are 20 points cheaper, and they can deep strike within 6. And I can sustain them as well, and then I can lift them back up afterwards. I think I prefer the Plasma Inceptors, but I think it might come down to what type of terrain you're playing in, and that, like, on the WTC terrain, that might be quite good. So yeah, it might come down, it might be a bit terrain dependent, but my personal opinion is Plasma Inceptors. I just made a video on them on Friday, and basically, like, in a situation where there's lots of units that we're struggling to deal with, I think Plasma Inceptors they're about the only unit that we've got that's got both twin linked and flat 3 damage and 3 AP. So in this list, you would be removing cover. So it would be flat 3 AP at 3 damage with those Plasma Inceptors. Like, I like that a lot. So that's my opinion. Finn just found a 20-year-old Land Raider Crusader. Congrats, dude. I don't think the Crusader gets so much play these days because it's full of bolters, and bolters aren't that exciting these days. But it's a good find to add to your collection. So that is the end of tonight's stream. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did learn it. If you would like your list on a future video, you can drop it in the comments. Remember, we're live pretty much every Sunday looking at armies. So if you'd like to leave a like on the stream, I would really appreciate it. I will see you guys next Sunday night. And this week on the channel, Wednesday night, I have a battle report against Dark Angels. And they're bringing the Lion, and they're bringing 10 Deathwing Knights. And I haven't played against the Lion yet, period. But I played against Deathwing Knights at a tournament a few weeks ago, and it was a disaster. So I'm hoping to do a little bit better. So drop in past on Wednesday night if you can. And I'll see you guys then. Have a great evening. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. And good night.